Alright, so here I am. I don't get all that much opportunity talking to people in person these days. I had some in mental hospital, which wasn't exactly what I was looking for. Various types of patients or doctors. People seem to pay attention to what I post, whether it's in many cases for them to try to use it against me, and in some cases maybe they are interested, or they might, under certain circumstances in the future, potentially be interested in having some kind of association with me of some sort. In some cases, one can hope. But anyway, in spite of this situation, what it is, I'm not going to be talking all that loudly. Shouldn't be such a problem for the neighbors upstairs, but if it is, I'm sorry, that they're inconvenienced. But if you wanna know what I'm saying, you might want to listen carefully. I'm not necessarily gonna all transcribe all this into a written statement or anything. And I'm sorry to waste all your time, but I'm not sure how much faster any of you could read it anyway, who are going to, many of you. But there's a lot of things I could talk about, that I'd like to talk about and maybe make available for people to hear. So, one of them, speaking of certain people and certain people that, something about the way they behave and seem to think bothers me, like it's kind of like they can't do the math. Certain things, they help them to delude themselves. They eclipse you in one manner. It seems to me that I feel that, they make such a big deal out of their victories that it's really trying to defeat you in a whole nother way. For example, there's one friend of mine, who's once a friend of mine, sort of, or we became friends, basically, as many people do or would. We played chess, I remember once, and having beat him, generally, maybe it was 2 out of 3 or something like that, and I understand getting frustrated, and I can't say how graceful the winner I was. I've played people who haven't been very graceful winners, and it's just like, it's a game of chess. For me, I don't anticipate ever being the world's chess master. People, that's the kind of thing that people, whether they beat me or whether they don't, they might like to say I should, be humbled. I should be humbled by the fact that I'm, think I'm better than. That's just one example of what shows that I'm not better than I am. Anyway, this guy apparently continued to play. He may have taken some kind of courses or something, or gotten some regular playing scenario, and then later, as I tried to maintain our relationship, I met him outside at a storage unit. He insisted we play chess then, and I lost him, and then soon after that, he got enough. He basically started a fight with me, mentioning his Protestant co-religionist and protesting that how I had mistreated them, and just started railing at me, and started blocking my exit when I tried to leave. And I mean, I don't know if this guy had a knife or something, who weighs, maybe 160 pounds or a solid 25 to 30 pounds less than I do, and isn't or wasn't the last, I don't know if he's been taking some jiu-jitsu courses or something, but when he saw him play soccer, it was an extremely impressive. Didn't seem to be an excellent athlete, and it's just the kind of thing that is disturbing, and it's like these situations just build, and you end up, when you have to rely on people in general, you run the risk of having to rely on a person like this who's then going to try to manipulate the situation for ends that can be very questionable in an ethical sense. These are the kind of things that, I started in a fucking hog pen as far as I understand, but since Ed and Bernice Richards, after I was living in the house that they, bought me to help get through graduate school, so they said, bought me in those terms at one point. But they bought it for themselves, but they certainly did me some favor, but for them it was every favor, everything they want to believe, they'll believe, about how good they're. Anyway, they beat me with the dishes, with their dish, my dish thing compared to their dish thing, and, just disgusting how I left the dishes there. We heard that in court, when they were protesting all my behaviors, and, no, there's nobody there to bear witness to who they are, of course. All these people are really, I see it's just, they think they're justified by things they do, but, they think they're winners, really, but, I feel that I shouldn't have the burden of showing them how, in other senses, they're losers, or if they show to be intelligent in some sense, they should be themselves unintelligent in more important senses. There are all kinds of things where, it's just like people delude themselves, and like, if you think you beat me in the chess game, and it's one mano, and that means it's white, whereas you want to agree with me that it's black with, people like John Corpix and how they beat me with their psychiatric, legal knowledge, if you want to call it that, and they beat me in being supposedly, according to them, mentally healthy, legally, and as it suggested, ethically inclined, and apparently they think they're somehow righteous. It's like Ron Kolath. Well, so he's an atheist. Everything by the book in the sense of science and science. He doesn't really care to extend his horizons and understand, the thought of others, and how, whether some might be illegitimate, or a lot of people might think some are illegitimate where he comes from, who believe some things, such as believe in theology, have a theological outlook, that others might still have something valuable to contribute to his knowledge that he never realized in that area. It's often like, well, if they don't realize it themselves, they'd rather not know, because then they'd be insulted, they feel like losers, A lot of this kind of reminds me of, like, it's like I've just been complaining about saying, oh, the problem's stupid people. Well, it's not going to be an easy message to get across, because then, you know, we understand, well, what about the dupe and their stupidity and how they feel stupid? Well, you know, I hope people have realized, or who have been paying some attention, have learned something from what I've heard and understood that. I complain about the stupidity of anybody who said something wrong, which is not true. So even if they know that they're saying something wrong for a purpose, to dupe somebody else or rob them or whatever, rape, you know, that kind of thing, I don't credit them with having intentionally been wrong. You know, I still fault them for being wrong. The dupe, you know, I definitely have more sympathy for. You know, I've been there myself, and you know, it's unfortunate. You know, like I said, though, you have to take things into context, and if a person hasn't been educated or they haven't had advantages that they could have, you know, they're going to be more vulnerable to that sort of thing. And, you know, this other person also, you know, I feel that they're stupid for not having a belief in what's supernatural or a belief in karma, because I don't think it's just mumbo jumbo. You know, I think that it actually does create chaos, and, you know, that'll eventually, even if it destroys innocent people, it'll eventually, you know, and it can, that it'll eventually come back to those who are not innocent or guilty as well. Whereas they could have, you know, they're stupid in the fact that they don't care about also the innocent and the guilty alike, or the innocent or those who might have been innocent but then become guilty. But, you know, it's just like, it's just this ridiculous fucking shit, you know, all the time. And it's just like, you know, trying to teach people things, make use of my time to come to understand truth and teach people things, and they don't want to learn. They want to believe themselves to be something, and they want to believe me to be something, and they're, you know, they're fucking us all, you know. And it's like, I don't want to teach you to be, oh, you're a loser, you beat me in a race, and you became so sure that I was a loser. You're Dunkin' Delano, and you married a girl who I once had some interest in but didn't have the skills you had, you know, of with the ladies, or, you know, the social skills, if that's what you want to call it, or whatever. But, you know, it's like this guy beating me in chess after, like, possibly, as I believe, maybe his co-religionists had, like, poisoned me, and possibly that had a lot to do with his co-religionists, you know, making these laws for no reason that help them to do that, just because I want to have the same privileges he had. But he doesn't think about that. He just thinks about what a great fucking winner he is, you know. And I thought I was a fairly graceful winner anyway, even though he was disappointed when I beat him in chess a long time ago. And I was like, yeah, I had the home court advantage, and it's true, you know, and it is an advantage, even though it was a shitty fucking apartment, in my opinion, that I had. But, you know, it's just unfortunate, you know. And then, like, later it was like, well, this person, and almost ending up homeless on the street because of various other things. And, you know, I was indebted to this person, never really able to compensate him monetarily thus far. But then he was like getting in a fight and like at a drum classes, you know, meeting girls he's interested in, and I can understand that later. He's telling them that, like, I'm schizophrenic, so then he's like showing them me, and then showing them the demonstration of what society has proven theoretically about how he's better than me. And he even told him that he beat me in chess. It's like, yeah, well, you know, if I had time to play chess or afford these chess books and whatever, it might have been different, you know. It's like, it's why you play the game, for, you know, the fun of it, and getting frustrated when you lose is part of it, and being happy when you win is part of it. But when you take it to be something that proves, then you're justified, or your religion is better and shit like that, and it gets a bit outlandish. It's like, yeah, and we could be in the surfing competition, and I could beat you, or just be clearly better. Or you could get eaten by a shark, and I could be like, oh man, I was smart enough to know, not to be out there when the shark was, and shit like that. I've got to kill a centipede, so let's wrap this up. But anyway, a few thoughts and things if you took the time to listen.